Yeah, and I mean this in the most disrespectful sense to us and ourselves. Like, this felt like some that we would come up with on sequel.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, it felt like some come up with 5 minutes before the show.
Say it again. It is so good to see you. Well, I be damn. Look who done come up in here.
Drive-by movies, you're watching
Fresh releases.
My name's Blaise.
And my name is James.
And this week we're talking the brand new film on Amazon Prime, Coming to America.
Hey, it's Kunta Kinte and Ebola. Famine and blood diamonds.
Nelson Mandela and Winnie.
Those hungry babies with the flies on the face.
Hey, oh, that's too much. Now, you stepped over the line. Now, we won't be talking that kind of shit about the hungry babies. You're going to have to get out of my chair.
Politically incorrect.
So what you doing back here, Hotel Rwanda?
I'm back. Say it again.
The long-awaited sequel is about the African monarch Akeem, who learns he has a long-lost son in the United States and must return to America to meet this unexpected heir and build a relationship with his son. This is a movie that a lot of people have been asking for, a lot of people have been waiting for. This is a movie I not necessarily asked for, but I was certainly waiting for it once it was announced and stuff. I thought the idea of like a second movie, like, yeah, you could do a lot of stuff, but the plot with this was kind of something I wasn't expected, but I was still curious to see where I was going to go. Did it hold up? Well, Blaise, you just saw Coming to America for the first time literally a week ago. Check out our thoughts on that. What'd you think of this new sequel?
So, yeah, you're going to hit me with the hard question first off. But yeah, I absolutely loved the original Coming to America film. Talked about it last week. It was tons of fun. Such a good, funny fish out of water story. I loved how wholesome it was. They try and do some similar things in this film for the most part with the comedy. But overall, I felt like this film didn't really hit. It was an all right Friday night, but I'm glad I didn't go to the theaters for this one.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the intention. I'm not sure if Amazon bought this movie or not, who funded it, but
yeah,
it feels very, very, very low budget and stuff. Granted, not a movie like this really needs to be that expensive, but everything feels like it was shot in a warehouse or just like one big fancy mansion in like New Jersey or something, and they just claimed it was Africa. One of the big things I'd like to say is like, well, this movie isn't really Coming to America Part 2. This is really Coming to Africa. It's a fun plot, kind of putting someone else in the fish out of water like sequences, like in Africa. But what made the first one work so much was Akeem. He's the main character. I don't give a rat's ass about his son and him trying to adapt to Africa's ways of living and stuff. Maybe like for newcomers, but this is the movie we've all been waiting for, and you focus 100% mainly on the son. Like, Eddie Murphy really feels like a background character in this. And then also Arsenio Hall, one of the, he's like the comedic relief, like the fun, like, co-star of the movie in the first one. He just feels like he's like in the side somewhere in this movie. Like, I really like felt bad bashing this movie, but I could not stand this movie. I think I rated this 2 stars on Letterboxd, but honestly thinking about it and like kind of like talking about it and saying it out loud, like, no, this is going down to 1.5. It's not like unwatchable, but it's pretty bad.
You only docked a half a star though. I felt like you were gonna dock like 1.5 stars there and be like, this is only getting a half star.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think one of the things that made that first film so fun, like you said, was Prince Akeem and just his joyfulness, his cheer, and you get absolutely none of this film. Eddie Murphy's character is a totally different character. It doesn't even feel like it's the original Prince Akeem. And I know time happened, things changed. He became more like his father, kind of like a ruler. But it still is just kind of disheartening when you're waiting for the sequel. So far we have been waiting for the sequel apparently for how many years? I don't know how many people were clamming for it after the first movie was released. That's something I do want to kind of get into with this film was Paramount. You mentioned not knowing like how it came into existence. but it was supposed to be released last year in August, and it was a Paramount film. Amazon bought the worldwide, like global rights to it to be streamed on their Prime platform. But was this really a film? Like, I don't remember if we did this on sequel, but was this a film that people were always clamoring for a sequel? Or is this just another film that Paramount was looking through their catalog of movies that didn't have a sequel or were not a franchise? And they were just trying to fill out the fact that when you look at franchises alone, I think Paramount has the least amount of franchises. Me, as a film goer, I do not care about that at all. But there are a ton of film goers out there that care, oh, this studio has this franchise or this name and that name. I could care less. I'm looking for original stories when I'm going to the movies.
Absolutely, yeah. This movie, I guess, like, I'll give it credit for like trying to be like an original story, but the fact that like you like kind of like Cobra Kai, you can watch that without having seen The Karate Kid. This movie, you can't actually see this without seeing the first one because there's a lot of flashbacks. But you know, I think for a movie like this, because it's made so late in advance, like this is definitely a movie that was geared towards the fans of the original. But you know, if you're watching it for the first time and skipped over the first one, yeah, cool. You don't really need the background story. It's all given to you right here and stuff. But, you know, just not seeing like Mr. McDowell and stuff. And then, like, you know, he's in the movie, but hardly in it really. And then like the best parts in this movie are when he goes to New York. But that's like, they only go to New York twice in this movie, and it's like for 5 minutes each and stuff. Like the barbershop characters cracked me up and stuff, and they're one of the funniest parts of the original. And like it's great to see Eddie Murphy coming back. He still has it, like playing multiple different characters, super funny. But just like, you know, it was like not the best jokes during those moments, and those were, even though they were my favorite parts, like, you know, just like I said, it should have been called Coming to Africa. Coming to like number 2 America. It's kind of a weird title and stuff. Like I get it and stuff, but like it's just like kind of weird when it like hardly takes place in New York and stuff. And you know, I think there's other reasons to make Eddie Murphy go to America and stuff. Like I like to like kind of like, you know, they're trying to push like a feminist plot like towards the movie and stuff, because like, you know, I do like those kind of plot lines and stuff. I'm all for that, but just like that part like worked well, but just there could have been multiple other reasons for him to go to America. And the idea that he has this bastard son, like I felt uncomfortable him saying bastard throughout the movie. I'm like, all right, this isn't Game of Thrones and stuff. Like, why are they saying bastard so much to describe him and stuff? Just say he's your son out you know, out of like wedlock or whatever. Like I know that's what the definition is technically, but like it just didn't seem realistic to me. And then also it's kind of creepy also, just because I mean, yeah, technically he didn't know what was happening, but like it comes off very date rapey and stuff. Just the fact that like he doesn't remember having sex with this lady, and like she has a son, and like how does even like Arsenio Hall's character know about it and stuff? Like they've been keeping this secret away from him like his entire life, and just like it felt forced and just like it was creepy and wasn't funny. Like that's a weird plot line to kind of throw into this.
Yeah, and I mean this in the most disrespectful sense to us and ourselves. Like, this felt like some shit that we would come up with on sequel. Yeah. And I'm saying, like, it felt like some shit I would come up with 5 minutes before the show. Like, it just, this movie comes off as trying really hard, but at the same time, like, not hard enough to come up with a plot that holds water. Like you said, the plot feels like very contrived, but then at the same time, a lot of things that they're trying to contrive come off like really weird and rapey, where it's like, why do we even have to go for this plot? The real plot that they're trying to get at is the fact that Zamunda is kind of ass backwards, a little bit old school, which isn't necessarily the best, and it should be a little bit more progressive. Time should travel a little bit faster there, and Eddie Murphy's Kingdom of Zamunda should be kind of transferred to one of his actual daughters and not this son that he had out of wedlock, who he still loves, and they have a great father-son relationship throughout the course of the film, but it's still just not that Prince Akeem that you grew to love from the first film. It's just Eddie Murphy kind of reprising his character, but not really giving us that same character that we love, because so much time has passed between the two films, essentially. So I wish they kind of focused more on, you know, this father-daughter relationship. The father and son relationship, I think, was fine, but it's just, I really wish there was more of the Prince Akeem that we loved, and they didn't just contrive this whole plot that felt really weird.
Right. Yeah, it felt very, like I said, just everything felt really forced and stuff. You know, like Craig Brewer tried and stuff. I'm glad to see Wesley Snipes in so many like comedic roles as of late. He was, I thought, the best part of My Name is Dolomite. Absolutely hilarious in that movie. I mean, of course, Eddie Murphy was a huge standout character in that movie, but it was just so funny to see Wesley Snipes in a comedic role and just like be that funny in that movie. And I know that, you know, Craig Brewer directing that one, of course, he probably wanted to bring back Wesley Snipes for this, but his character just felt forced too, and like was trying to be over the top funny, but it just didn't work with this. Like the script was just like, I know that they even brought back some of the original writers of the original film and stuff to help with the story, but just like really, you guys, like, you know, I'm sure at one point like they've thought of like a sequel and stuff over the like almost 30 years that this original movie came out. Like, and this is what you came up with. Like, it felt like, yeah, they like a script is due in like a week. And like, all right, let's like hurry it up and stuff. Like, there's been times on Sequel, I loved doing Sequel. It was so much fun. Like, whenever I like really tried, like I was really proud of some of my sequels, still really proud of my Small Soldier sequel, but there were some of them where I just like tried to dump out really quickly. And this really felt like you put the nail on the coffin with that, Blaise.
Yeah, I really think that Paramount needs to go back to the drawing board, because I don't know if you were able to see their list of things that are coming exclusively to Paramount Plus, which recently just launched. I said in the last episode I was very excited to see SpongeBob Sponge on the Run. I could give a glowing review for that for another time, but when I really looked at that list of, I think it was 50 or maybe like 100 things, there were so many questionable titles, and I think 99.8% of the titles on there were all sequels and remakes, reboots, everything, to where there was only like one original project on the entire list. And that was very worrying when I looked at, okay, this is what they're trying. Like, I might be interested in the Frasier reboot or sequel. That's probably about the only thing I was actually interested on that whole list.
Yeah. I mean, I know like Rugrats also, that's past my time too. And just like, yeah, it sounds like just they're a little too late with all these reboots and stuff. Like, are modern kids going to care about the new Rugrats? I mean, maybe so, but just like, yeah.
I think the main worrying question is when they're making a sequel to Flashdance. Nothing wrong with Flashdance, but is anyone out there in the market for a Flashdance sequel? Is anyone clamoring for that? It just doesn't. It almost seems like they're just making sequels to anything that they have an original film for. But is there really a market there? I think there was a market with Cobra Kai when it's like so many people love the original Karate Kid. They want to show their children that movie and how much it meant to them. That Cobra Kai maybe made sense. There's a lot of these films that Paramount is just making sequels to. Who is the actual market? Are they trying to get the parents in the seat with the kids? Some of these films aren't really quite making sense. I'm not saying Coming to America is one, but I still have to question, who was this film made for?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely had a lot of people excited. I think when the trailer came out, a lot of people were pretty stoked. I mean, I remember seeing some comments that people were nervous and stuff, but if this is their first effort at a reboot sequel for something that like is a has-been kind of movie, that was like all the hype and stuff, like not really looking forward to what else they're gonna do and stuff. So I doubt we're gonna get a Coming to America 3 and stuff after this, because it looks like the reviews are poor, and I don't like following what other people think and stuff, but just like, damn, this movie like sucked.
Yeah, and I'd say Paramount Plus, please go back to the drawing board, because you don't even have a queue on the app. You can't even add stuff to a list. Come on, stop just sequelizing everything and figure that out first. Yeah. I don't know any app that does it. Even YouTube has a queue. You can make playlists. Guys, come on, get your stuff together. Stop just releasing content that nobody's asking for, and figure out how to make a queue. It can't be that hard. It's 2021. Come on, folks.
Mm-hmm. Dear Lord.
Anyways, that's gonna close out pretty much this episode, guys, of fresh releases. If you want to watch Coming to America, it is available on Amazon Prime. There's probably a free trial somewhere out there. It's exclusive to Amazon though, so I think just watch the video or watch the movie with the link in the description box below to support our show.
Yeah, another way to help us out also is by leaving a comment, keeping the conversation going, and smashing that like button. Those are huge ways, so please do that. And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And that's it for this week, guys. Tune in next week for a brand new fresh releases.